Determining the total weight of dry bulk cargo loaded on a bulk carrier is different from cargo shipped in containers, crates, or on secured platforms, which is pre-weighted before being loaded. In this video, I'll show you a step-by-step guide on how to determine the total weight of dry bulk cargo loaded on board through a draft survey. In this scenario, the ship has completed loading, so we will conduct a final draft survey to determine the total weight of cargo loaded on board. To begin, we first need to gather the essential data, starting with the observed drafts obtained through draft readings. Let's assume that these are the ship's drafts: forward, midships, and aft, both port and starboard sides. Next, measure the relative density of the dock water using a hydrometer. In this case, it is 1.021. Then, take soundings of all tanks to determine the ROB. For fuel oil, diesel oil, and lubricating oil, coordinate with the chief engineer. All other required data will be determined as we proceed with the calculations. If we observe closely, the port drafts are slightly greater than the starboard drafts, indicating that the ship is slightly listing to port. Our first step is to determine the mean drafts forward, midships, and aft. To do this, simply add the port and starboard drafts, then divide by 2. In this case, the forward mean draft is 8.82 meters. Apply the same procedure for the midships and aft drafts. The midships mean draft is 9.625 meters, and the aft mean draft is 10.08 meters. This procedure is not necessary if both the port and starboard drafts are the same. Next, we determine the apparent trim by finding the difference between the forward and aft mean drafts. In this case, the apparent trim is 1.26 meters by the stern, since the aft draft is greater than the forward draft. Simply subtract the lesser from the greater. Our next step is to determine the drafts at the perpendiculars. To verify whether the draft marks are located at the perpendiculars or not, refer to the ship's stability manual. Let's check the table of contents and look for the section on draft marks information. The details are found on page 20. From the diagram, we can see that the forward draft marks are located here, while the forward perpendicular is shown here. The distance between them is indicated as L sub F, which is 0.80 meter. This means the forward draft marks are positioned 0.80 meters aft of the forward perpendicular. In some manuals, this distance is referred to as the forward correction factor. Now for the aft draft marks, it is located along this line, while the aft perpendicular is shown here. The distance between them is indicated with L sub A, which is 5.47 meters, also known as the aft correction factor. For the midship draft marks, it is located exactly at the midships, so the correction factor is 0. However, based on comments from my previous video on the initial draft survey, how to apply corrections if the midships draft mark is not exactly at midships, let's assume in this example that the midships draft mark is 0.50 meters aft of midships. Therefore, the midships correction factor is 0.50 meters. Now, the horizontal distance from forward perpendicular to aft perpendicular is called length between perpendiculars, which is 137 meters. Meanwhile, the horizontal distance from forward draft marks to aft draft marks is called length between draft marks or length between marks, which is 130.80 meters. To determine the drafts at perpendiculars, let's first calculate the perpendicular corrections for forward, midships, and aft using these formulas. For the forward perpendicular correction, multiply the forward correction factor, 0.80 meter, by the apparent trim, 1.26 meters, then divide by the length between draft marks, 130.80 meters. The forward perpendicular correction is 0.00771 meter. The same formula is applied for the midships and aft corrections, only the correction factor changes. For midships, the correction factor is 0.50 meters, giving a midships correction of 0.00482 meters. For the aft, the correction factor is 5.400 meters, resulting in an aft perpendicular correction of 0.05202 meters. Next, apply the perpendicular corrections to the mean drafts we have calculated earlier to determine the drafts at perpendiculars, following these rules. Since the ship is trimmed by the stern, we subtract the forward perpendicular correction from the forward mean draft. This gives a draft at forward perpendicular of 8.81229 meters. For midships, since the mid-draft mark is located aft of midships, we also subtract the midships correction from the midships mean draft. The draft at midships is 9.62018 meters. For the aft, add the aft perpendicular correction to the aft mean draft. The draft at aft perpendicular is 10.13202 meters. These drafts at the perpendiculars, including the midships draft, are commonly known as the corrected drafts. Next, let's calculate the true trim and mean draft using the corrected drafts. The true trim is equal to corrected aft draft minus corrected forward draft. Simply subtract the lesser value from the greater. In this case, the true trim is 1.31973 meters by the stern. You may use 3 to 4 decimal places as the difference is usually negligible, but in this example, I will use 5 decimal places. Next, the mean draft is obtained by adding the corrected forward draft and the corrected aft draft, then dividing the sum by 2. The mean draft is 9.47216 meters. Our next step is to calculate the mean of mean and quarter mean draft. The quarter mean draft is considered more accurate for extracting hydrostatic data, such as displacement, TPC, MTC, and LCF, because it accounts for hull deflection effects like hogging and sagging. I'll show you 2 methods. In the first method, we calculate the mean of mean first, followed by the quarter mean draft. The mean of mean is obtained by adding the mean draft and the corrected midships draft, then dividing by 2. In this case, the mean of mean is 9.54617 meters. Next, the quarter mean draft is calculated by adding the mean of mean and the corrected midships draft, then dividing by 2. This gives a quarter mean draft of 9.58318 meters. The second method is simpler. The quarter mean draft is equal to 3 times the corrected midships draft plus the mean draft divided by 4. This method also gives a quarter mean draft of 9.58318 meters, the same result as the first method. Next, let's extract the values of ship's displacement, LCF and TPC, from the hydrostatic table using the quarter mean draft. The first column of this hydrostatic table lists the draft in 2 decimal places, so the quarter mean draft to be used is 9.58 meters. The small draft increment, which is 0.00318 meter, will be applied later. At a draft of 9.58 meters, the ship's displacement is 21,815 metric tons. The TPC is 26 tons per centimeter, and the LCF is positive 1.33 meters. Since this displacement corresponds only to the draft of 9.58 meters, we need to determine the remaining displacement value for the corresponding draft increments. The displacement increment is obtained by multiplying the draft increment by 100 times TPC, where 100 is used to convert meters to centimeters, since TPC is in tons per centimeter. This gives a displacement increment of 8.27 tons. Adding this to the extracted displacement at 9.58 meters, we get a total displacement of 21,823.27 metric tons. This is now the ship's displacement at a quarter mean draft of 9.58318 meters. Now we can also use interpolation to determine the displacement increments and the ship's displacement at the corresponding quarter mean draft. I will not go into the detailed steps of this interpolation process. As we can observe, there is a slight difference compared to the result obtained using the previous method. Although this difference may seem negligible, these methods help guide us toward a more accurate result. Keep in mind that we are determining the displacement at a quarter mean draft of 9.58318 meters. In the first method, we use the TPC at a draft of 9.58 meters, which is 26 tons per centimeter, while at 9.59 meters, the TPC is 25 tons per centimeter. This means that for a more precise result using the first method, the TPC itself should also be interpolated to match the exact quarter mean draft. Instead of doing that, we can directly apply interpolation in the second method. If the TPC values at both drafts were the same, for example, both 26 or both 25 tons per centimeter, then both methods would give the same results. However, since the TPC values differ in this case, the interpolation method provides a more accurate result. In this case, we will use a displacement value of 21,822.95 metric tons. The next step is to calculate the first and second trim corrections. The formula for the first trim correction is true trim multiplied by LCF, then by TPC, and multiplied by 100, divided by the length between perpendiculars. The first trim correction is 33.31 tons. To apply this correction, follow this rule. If the ship is trimmed by the stern, follow the sign of the LCF. But if the ship is trimmed by the head, reverse the LCF sign. In this case, the ship is trimmed by the stern, and the LCF is positive. So the first trim correction will be added later. Take note that in this kind of hydrostatic table, the LCF is measured from midships. If it is negative, it is forward of midships. And if it is positive, it is aft of midships. Now, if you encounter a hydrostatic table where the LCF is measured from the aft perpendicular, it is usually indicated as forward of aft perpendicular. In such cases, use this formula to calculate the first trim correction. To determine whether the LCF is forward or aft of midships. If LCF is greater than half of length between perpendicular, then the LCF is forward of midships. If LCF is less than half of length between perpendicular, the LCF is aft of midships. Now, let's proceed to the second trim correction using this formula. But before proceeding, let's first determine the moment to change trim by 1 centimeter difference or MTC difference. To do this, we extract MTC values from the hydrostatic table at drafts 0.5 meters above and below the quarter mean draft. Since the quarter mean draft is 9.58 meters, adding 0.5 meter, we take the MTC value at a draft of 10.08 meters, which is 246.8 ton-meters per centimeter. Then, subtracting 0.5 meter from the quarter mean draft of 9.58 meters, we take the MTC value at a draft of 9.08 meters, which is 230.2 ton-meters per centimeter. Subtracting both MTC values, the MTC difference is 16.6 ton-meters per centimeter. Using this value in the formula, the second trim correction is 10.55 tons. When applying the second trim correction, the rule is always add. Taking the MTC values at drafts 0.5 meters above and below the quarter mean draft, this allows us to determine how the MTC changes across a small range of drafts. Next, let's determine the ship's displacement corrected for trim. Apply both the first and second trim corrections to the displacement at quarter mean draft of 9.58318 meters, which is 21,822.95 tons. Add the first trim correction, as I have discussed earlier, and the second trim correction is always added as per the rule. The displacement corrected for trim is 21,866.81 tons. We apply trim corrections because the hydrostatic table used was developed when the vessel was floating on an even keel or zero trim. At the same time, this table is also developed when the vessel is floating in salt water where the relative density is 1.025. Since our vessel is floating in dock water with a relative density of 1.021, the next step is to determine the ship's displacement corrected for density. First, calculate the density correction using this formula. The displacement corrected for trim is 21,866.81 metric tons, and the dock water density is 1.021. This gives a density correction of 85.33 metric tons. Next, apply the density correction to the displacement corrected for trim. To do this, if the dock water density is greater than 1.025, add the density correction. If it is less than 1.025, subtract it. In this case, the dock water density is less than 1.025, so we will subtract the density correction. This gives a displacement corrected for density of 21,781.48 metric tons. Now, this is a simplified formula for calculating the displacement corrected for density. With this method, there is no need to calculate the density correction separately or apply the add or subtract rule. It directly gives the same displacement value. Let's proceed to the final step, calculating the ship's dead weight and the total weight of cargo loaded on board. To determine the dead weight, subtract the lightship from the displacement corrected for density. The lightship value can be found in the ship's general particulars, which in this case is 5,400 metric tons. Therefore, the dead weight is 16,381.48 metric tons. Next, subtract the deductibles, or ROBs. This includes fuel oil, diesel oil, lube oil, unpumped ballast, fresh water, and other deductibles. In this case, the total ROB is 1,420.50 metric tons. The result is the combined weight of cargo being loaded and constant. Take note if the ship is in ballast condition, meaning no cargo on board. This value is the ship's actual constant. However, in this scenario, the vessel is in a loaded condition, so this value represents the combined weight of cargo and constant. By subtracting the ship's constant, we obtain the total weight of cargo loaded on board. The ship's constant is usually determined during the initial draft survey. Assuming that, prior to loading, an initial draft survey was conducted, and the ship's actual constant was determined to be 227 metric tons, so the total weight of cargo loaded on board is 14,733.98 metric tons, or 14,734 metric tons. If you'd like to see the full video tutorial on how to determine the ship's actual constant through an initial draft survey, kindly check the link in the description below. That's all for now. I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.